We will begin before the idea you call discussion question. If you will allow some ideas, first of all, of your own, what we will call mutability. Allow me to say that the idea which we define as mutability will be your willingness to allow transformation to occur within you, and hence round and about you, with regard to the creations you formulate, and give yourself to experience as that which you call your physical life, that which you call your physical realm. You may understand that mutability is instantaneous, infinite, in one sense of the word, and constant. Recognize that you are creating the idea you call time, and that your own, what you call scientists, have begun to recognize that time is what you call discontinuous. It is discrete, in a sense, moments, not one unbroken stream, though it will vibrate in your understanding of the term vibration at such a rate of speed as it will seem to be unbroken, seem to be fluid in that way, smooth, continuous. Recognize that it is discrete, in a sense, particles, vibrations of moments, existing high rate of speed, in between the moments you recognize as reality or other realities, sharing, in a sense, the same space. You exist with regard to parallel alternate dimensions of reality in between each other's moments of reality, taking turns, if you wish to put it colloquially, existing in different frequencies for the purpose of separating out the different ideas so that you may experience them discreetly, uniquely. You follow me?
Yes.
Now recognize that because you are creating time in this way, projecting it from yourself in this way, experiencing its flow in this way, recognize that you are, in a sense, therefore creating yourself, your entire physical universe, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Every one of these moments that speed by you so rapidly carries with it a complete and total different universe than the one that you experienced a moment before. Do you all follow that?
Yes.
Complete and total different universe. Any idea of continuity from one moment to the next is totally at your discretion, is totally within your control, is totally within the idea you have of yourself, is totally within the purpose you have chosen to experience at any particular moment in time as you create time, and with regard to any particular purposes you have chosen to experience with regard to the idea of interacting within your entire life framework, as it relates not only to your own ideas of growth and collectivity, but also that which you share with all the other beings sharing the reality with you. In other words, your agreement with mass consciousness and what you have to offer in your form of unique service will also determine the idea you call continuity from one moment to the next. This has given rise to the ideas you call evolution, because you sense within a time framework a progression from a beginning to an end, from a state of less to a state of more, from a state of worse to a state of better, or vice versa, if you wish. But recognize that all of these ideas of progression are completely and totally hinged upon upon the idea of time as you create it. Thus, as you now, within your transformational state of being from third to fourth density, as you would say from old to new age awareness, from separation to integration of consciousness, you now begin to realize that you are in fact creating your physical reality, and as such, space and time goes right along with that. And if you are now beginning to consciously realize that you are creating time, then you are beginning to realize that time, space, and the materiality upon which it hinges, upon which is hinged the idea of time and space and materiality, also, in that way, is becoming consciously recognized as a product of the projection of what you believe about yourself according to what you have chosen to experience. Therefore, time is now beginning to be recognized by your collective form of integrated consciousness, not so much as time, but as timing, which is quite a different thing. The events in your life, the events of your life, the events which you are, that are your life, are a product of timing. It is a product of the idea of interacting with the other consciousnesses within your dimensional reality that you have agreed to share certain experiences with. And thus, when those paths cross, it is the idea you call timing. It will occur because you are creating it within the framework you call time. But time does not control the idea of what occurs in your life, nor the idea you call coincidence, which is not accidental, but is a product of the timing, of the unfoldment of the path you have chosen, within synchronous harmony to all the unfoldment of all the other paths, of all the other individuals within your dimensional reality that you share this experience with. This is timing. You have timing with every individual, you have timing within yourself as well. To experience certain ideas, to unfold in certain ways, to give yourself the opportunity to fulfill your timing with everyone else. Recognize many times that when you give yourself opportunities in a negative fashion, as you would call them, in negative fashion, unpleasant experience, you will many times, because you have chosen to be here now at this transformational point within your history, make no mistake about it. There is a difference to this time from other times in your history. You are now collecting yourselves together consciously to recognize your full control over the creation of the cycles that you experience within your lives. And because you have chosen to be here now at this particular time frame, makes a difference according to what you are experiencing, as opposed to what that would have meant 3, 4, 5, 10 lifetimes ago. Recognize that even what you term to be negative experiences at this particular time will 99% of the time be for the purpose of allowing you opportunity to integrate rapidly certain portions of your personality, certain portions of your consciousness, so that you will have all of the abilities and all of the tools and all of the consciousness and all of the awareness necessary for you to be able to take that step through the transformation consciously, by allowing yourself to face different portions of yourself that represent the limitations of the past cycles that you have created, which are no longer existing for your consciousness. These limitations are dissolving. You no longer need them as a tool. Thus, you are giving yourself the opportunity to experience both the positive and negative energies within yourselves very rapidly, as individuals and as societies. To allow yourselves, in a sense, to experience what you have chosen to experience that much more quickly, to be able to fulfill the timing of being able to step through that transformational doorway, to use an analogy, with everyone else that will be there as well. You all follow me?
Yes.
We will, at this time, then, extend discussion, statement, question.
I have a statement.
All right.
First of all, I have a few statements, but the first one is I'm really happy that I created the first Wednesday night, where it's the first Wednesday night where you, that I remember anyway, that you opened with some information rather than asking questions, and I really enjoy that. So I wanted to thank you and myself for that, and everyone else here.
Thank you.
My second motion.
And I also wanted to talk about an experience I had on last Friday night. I was with Erica, and we were meditating, and I started feeling this energy through my body and in my throat area, and it was like I wanted to say something or make some sound, and yet I didn't feel like I had any words to say. And later I talked with Erica about it. She said, well, possibly I could work with just the idea of making sounds then with that feeling in my throat rather than, feeling like I have to be searching for some words or something. Then the guy came home that lives next door to me, and for the last few days he's been clearing his throat a lot, like coughing a lot and clearing his throat. And I was feeling that, I was creating some message for myself in that, with this feeling in my throat and feeling like there was something to come out and yet not knowing what it was.
All right, very good. You are recognizing how you can begin to allow every idea within your reality to serve as a symbol for you. Nothing comes to you by accident. Mm-hmm. Nothing.
Right.
No matter how minute you may judge it to be. It is only the judgment that makes it minute. Mm-hmm. And beneath notice, everything is a spontaneous choreography. And it's a part of the blending of the symbology which you reflect back to yourself to represent the idea of becoming aware of all the different levels of your consciousness. Mm-hmm. Very good.
Yeah, so I was feeling that would be a good idea to, when I feel that energy in my throat, and feeling like that there's something to come out, to just make those sounds and see what happens with that. The other night I was sleeping, and then I woke up and I was like kind of in some middle stage, half asleep and half awake, kind of. And I heard this sound. I thought I'd left a tape recorder or something on, but I didn't. It was just like one sound, and then that disappeared, and then I heard like a whole orchestra just play one tone. It sounded like a whole gathering of a whole orchestra, one tone, and I felt like that was my
signature.
My signature.
Yes.
My tongue. And that was fun.
Thank you very much.
And that's it for now.
Thank you. Yes.
On that same line, it's been real interesting. We talked about myologies and stuff before, and I pretty much felt like I had kicked it. Recently, I've begun to have those feelings again. However, I'm feeling much, much more above it now.
All right.
As opposed to being stay in it. But the throat thing that Pamela's mentioned, getting that too, and is there something happening? I know this time of the year, they say over the radio, the ozone layer is something, and but does that have any significance?
I understand at this time that along with the idea of the accelerated momentum which will allow there to be a temperature rise in many individuals which they will feel as feverish, one of the other manifestations of the idea of collecting your consciousness together will be, to some degree, the idea you call the clearing of the throat, to allow you the opportunity to explore, that you will be able soon to allow yourself to create a sense of conviction for that which you give voice to. You follow me? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You will be allowing yourself to stand in the center of your beliefs. You will know that what you have to say is worth sharing. You follow me?
I understand that, yes. That's very useful.
Thank you. Question?
Bashar?
Yes.
A few minutes ago, you were pointing the channel's left hand to the left. Were you perceiving the large generating crystal in the other room?
You were blending with the energy of an individual.
Ah, very good. Thank you.
But the fact that I moved over here instead of on the other side of the room? No.
For Jean.
Guys, how do you feel?
I'm doing a little bit better. Having very sick. I came to see you tonight.
Now, may I remind you that what you have come to see is yourself. You have not paid yourself a visit lately. The doctor in you is now able to pay you a visit. You follow me? You're going to be making a house call upon yourself. Do you like your doctor? You, the doctor in you. Your healer. Do you like your healer?
No.
Does not sound very convincing.
No.
What do you think about your healer?
Sort of got disconnected.
All right. Perhaps she was busy. Now, why do you think there was a disconnection? All right. Allow me to suggest that you may have been exploring some of the ideas in and of itself. Now, this is only a part of it, but in and of itself, of the idea of sustaining health, of forming a need to sustain health through a particular type of transformation that you had created for yourself. Now, recognize when you form a need to sustain health, you automatically disconnect the healer from you. Health is what you are automatically all the time. When you form a need to be healthy, you are reinforcing the belief that you fear you will not be healthy. It is that belief which will create the reality. You follow me?
Yeah.
Now, you have simply told in that way, by forming a need to be healthy, you have told your healer to take a hike. Do not judge yourself. This will be a part of your process at this time. Again, as we were saying, which was primarily directed for you. Each idea at this time, positive or negative, and many of the negatives that you deem to be negative energy, will be for the purpose of allowing yourself to quickly purge yourself of certain ideas, to come face to face with portions of yourself, of your consciousness, in a much more rapid succession, so that you can allow yourself to pass through the symbology quicker than you normally would have, to be at a certain place at a certain time, so that you will be able to manifest certain actions within your life by then giving yourself the tools by already having gone through the experience you are now having. You follow me? Recognize this will not manifest much longer. Recognize it can, I'll say, transform from anywhere between now and the next 3 weeks, according to your own discretion. Allow me to suggest, well, all right, what have you been doing according to the idea you call diet?
Oh, I'm not very much into a diet. I'm
just the general term, diet, not a strict sense of the word. Diet meaning what you eat.
Yeah, just food that one takes. I mean, for me, diet is having the proper food combining and, you know.
All right. What have you been feeding yourself?
Grain, fruit, vegetables, and...
What vegetables?
Lettuce, tomato, radishes, cucumbers, zucchini, beets and cabbages, and onions and that garlic.
All right. What fruits?
mostly grapes and a bit of apples, oranges, and peaches.
Why peaches?
Why peaches? Because of the season and they are very sweet. But I can answer all these questions, but the thing is that about 10 days ago I almost left the body and I've been very, very sick.
How closely have you been following the idea of your diet?
Not very much because something happened about a month ago. I came upon a product which is called Body Honey, which is totally natural mineral from Utah. And I bought a bottle, so just to show you, maybe you can perceive the formula. This has been a healer for a lot of people. And people who have cancer or leukemia says that after a few months from the product, they don't have cancer anymore. Or
why do you feel the need for the injection of that product?
Well, the body is made of minerals. And
yes, but do you not feel you are giving yourself the natural minerals within your diet?
no.
Why not?
Because on our vegetable today, it's too deprived, the soil which is grown in is too deprived of natural minerals. So
all right. Here we begin to see the idea we are expressing to you. You are trying too hard to make sure you stay healthy. You follow me? You are beginning to form within your consciousness the worry that you are not getting what you need. You follow me? Mm-hmm. You have transformed from a little bit more relaxed state to a little bit less relaxed state about the intake of your minerals, vitamins, and so forth. The idea of choosing to supplement what you have is a reflection of feeling you are not getting what you need. That belief can deprive you of what you need. You follow me?
Well, I was not feeling what I needed because of how I felt in my body. My body had a lot of pain.
All right, but understand that your body is a reflection of a belief that exists before the physical fact of the pain. It is an opportunity for you in that way. All right, yes, you sense the idea of mineralness. You were allowing yourself to communicate and sense out the idea of adding supplement. But recognize there is still another portion of this idea which is serving a purpose. And in that way, you will find that it is not so much the supplement that will be required as it will be the further exploration of the reasoning behind the purpose of the creation of this idea. By allowing yourself more opportunity to communicate with those portions of your consciousness that are coming up during this particular process that you call ill health or disease. Now, have you, in your recollection, had a difference in your dreams during this time?
Yes. Since I've been sick, I had a lot of different types of dreams, and I had the angels of death came to see me because they told me I had to leave the body and I had to fight for it.
All right. But what?
The thing is that my sickness was totally unexpected. I was feeling great. I was feeling totally attuned and in harmony.
This is why we say it is more the nature of a transformational experience rather than a true depletion. You follow me?
Yeah. And then in a few days, my old life crumbled, and then I was having horrible dreams. All
right. Now, first of all, allow me to suggest that your life has not crumbled. The dreams are not horrible, except as you judge your life to be crumbling, as you judge the dreams to be horrible. Allow them to serve the purpose for which you are creating them. You are creating them, you know.
Okay.
Allow yourself to be served by the purposes you are creating. Allow yourself to recognize the idea of the communication with a portion of your consciousness you call angel of death does not always have to be what you term to be physically literal. You are, yes, you are dying. And you are being reborn, in a sense. You are going through a type of transformation that is quite literally the rearrangement of every cellular structure in your body. You are not, when you come out of this, going to be, even physically, the you that you were before you went into it. You are going to be somewhat different. You are going to be of another vibration. You are walking through a doorway. You are walking through a similar type of tunnel to that which is experienced in that way as you call mentality. Why? During the idea you call the death process. But there is a light at the end of that tunnel. And in stepping out of the tunnel into that light, you will be stepping into the center of your own light, the center of your own vibration, the source of yourself as that light, and it will be a different vibration. It will be a different rate of vibration. You will be stepping into a different idea, reality. You will be different. You will recognize how many more things you can accomplish in that state. You follow me?
Yeah.
You will die. You will give birth to yourself in another form, in a sense. It will still, in a sense, look like you. You will be perceived by other individuals to be somewhat different. Allow yourself to give validity to the experiences within the dreams. You are having real conversations with consciousness within yourself and outside yourself. But it is mostly the knowingness within yourself of your own transformation, in a sense, through a type of death. It is a transformational experience. You are completely realigning yourself. You are changing your vibrational signature, in a sense. You follow me?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Okay.
The more you allow yourself to align with that new vibration rather than resist it, the less tension, the less friction there will be between the corporeal you now and the vibration that represents the you in the future. It is only the tension, the resistance, and the friction between your judgment of the vibration you are now and the vibration you are becoming that causes the dis-ease. Dis-ease is caused in that way by friction of variable vibrational rates. The more you allow yourself to identify with the more accelerated rate, the less friction there will be between the different rates. You will be synchronizing. There will be no need for the tension and friction within the physical form to manifest in that way. You follow me? Mm-hmm. You will not be in pain, stiff, and, I will say, rigored. You follow me?
Yeah.
You are creating your own form of rigor mortis with the pain, the stiffening. Allow yourself to be malleable. Allow yourself to be energy. Allow yourself to simply be a collective pattern of vibrations. Sense the direction you are walking in. Sense the light at the end of the tunnel. Begin to identify with that light, and you will begin to identify with the source of yourself, and you will begin to identify with the future you, and you will be the future you, in which there is no idea of dis-ease. You follow me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question?
Bashar.
Yes?
I wanted to make a statement that when the channel held his hand out, I was feeling vibration. I mean, my whole body was shaking again. And it's like at night, I sometimes, when I lie down, I put my hands together, all my fingers together, like I've done before, but my body really vibrates.
Yes.
And it'll just keep vibrating and vibrating. And I was getting the same thing from the channel.
You were experiencing a similar type of field. It was, in a sense, the creation of a revolving energy vortex.
Uh-huh.
It will be, in a sense, the creation of an isolation field to allow there to be within the vortex the opportunity to unlock from one reality, reorient yourself, and then re-enter physicalness into another reality. You follow me?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Question?
Yeah. Somebody have anything?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Jean's, your discussion with Jean's a hard act to follow. That was very, very nice, by the way. I had a neat experience today. An experience that I've had somewhat before, but I didn't understand what was happening before. And it's that one where, in this particular case, I came out of a movie theater, and everything was different. I mean, everything looked the same, but there was that feeling of everything different, and I knew that I had shifted to a parallel universe for myself. It was so blatantly obvious to me that was the case that I just went around with this wondrous experience of experiencing it all freshly again.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I wanted to ask you a question about time and your experiencing of time.
All right.
You said that you don't experience time as we do, and I'm looking at that from two angles. One being the concept of, I know that you on your planet don't mainly put your attention on the passage of time. However, I'm wondering if you experience time for the most part or 100% in the same way that we do in terms of experiencing time, the sequential focusing of from instant to instant, or do you actually skip instants in time and go to another time altogether on occasion for yourselves?
On occasion, yes. Understand we are, however, because we do project ourselves, as you do, into third-dimensional materiality. We are aware of the idea of the passage of time in terms of what you term to be the days. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
The rotation of our planet about our central star. You follow me?
Yeah.
This we are aware of. But simply to us, what happens within that time is much more malleable and not quite so regulated as your own scheduling.
Yeah, when you use the word you, you're referring to generic you, because it doesn't necessarily occur for me.
Yes,
yeah.
Your civilization in general.
Good. And when you do make your time jumps, is this something you do deliberately, or does it just happen sometimes, and you look at it to see what happened or why it happened? Is it such that, I know it's a tricky thing. Let me ask you this, do you have clocks on your planet?
Not really.
Okay.
We do have the ability to synchronize with the idea you call chronometers of any civilization.
I'm just trying to get an idea of what you would experience or what your conscious understanding would be if you were to make a time shift that was perhaps not deliberate, which you shifted from one day to another
All
day.
right. Understand that we realize all of them on some level of our consciousness are deliberate.
Yeah, of course.
Therefore, any which do not appear immediately consciously deliberate will simply be experienced with delight for the surprise we have created for ourselves.
Sure.
Then it will all simply blend into the idea of having been consciously deliberate to begin with anyway.
Okay, I understand that. I guess what my question was is how do you recognize that time shift has occurred when it has occurred in the consciously undeliberate or non-deliberate way?
It will seem, as we allow ourselves to make a comparison, as if there is missing time. You follow me?
Yeah. Would it be like you're in daylight and then suddenly you're in darkness? Would it be that?
Can be.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes. Not usually that abrupt, but it can be.
Yeah, of course. That would be an extreme example, hypothetical perhaps. Okay. Would it also be that you might be in one place and then find yourself in another place? Aha. Okay. Neat. Neato.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, I was going to... This week, the first time I've gotten to a level that...
Oh, all right. Will you do me a favor? Hold that thought for a moment, all right?
Yeah.
John?
Yeah.
Also, you may realize that laughing and crying are both centering. All right? When you experience the crying, it is a release, it is a centering. Understand that because you can have tears of joy and laugh even when you are sad within irony, you can recognize that both are the same mechanism. The sadness, the crying, is simply centering relative to what you deem to be a negative situation. Laughing is centering relative to what you deem to be a positive situation. They are both the same mechanism, simply the polarity of each other. Therefore, recognize that any crying that you may do is the allowance of release, is the allowance of centering, and does not take you farther away from the integration of your consciousness. All right?
Okay.
Thank you.
I was feeling good about crying anyway.
Good. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. For the first time, I've experienced this week the difference in the level of where I'm at and where the pain that I feel is, such that I have been able to actually appreciate the pain and it not be a mental computation.
What?
And
How does that feel?
it feels great. It's like I'm totally in control of my body and not my body pulling me down every time it wants to deal with pain.
Yes.
And is this a part of what's happening?
Of course. How could it be otherwise?
Well, I sense that I've been working at that for a long time, but I guess in my elation of having this happen.
You have stopped working and started doing.
Apparently. But it's neat. It's very
Thank you. Very good. Thank you for the blending and integrating of your consciousness, and therefore the creation of effortlessness. Question.
I have a question. Well, I have just a statement. Last Wednesday, someone came to the door and from a hamburger place while the session was going on and asked if anybody here had ordered some chili sauce for a hamburger. And I thought that was kind of cute to have someone. No one had ever come to the door before like that while the session was going on. So kind of like the outside world, was coming. It was like a blending,
Yes.
It was fun. So he has this address, but I don't think anybody here ordered it, but it was kind of fun. And also, maybe you could assist me. Well, no, I know you could assist me with this, and I could assist myself too.
Thank you.
I go through this analyzation in my mind about the idea of channeling and mediumship, and then we talked about the idea of the essence with me and channeling this essence, and then I start doubting what that's all about, and I start doubting myself because it's something I really want to do, whatever it is you say that I...
Do you doubt your singing less?
Do I doubt my... Say that again?
Do you doubt your singing less?
Yes, that's true. I do. I don't doubt my singing at all right now.
All right, that is channeling. You may make a blend between the two ideas. Allow the power of your singing to blend into the power of your channeling. It is much the same.
Okay, yes. No, I understand that. See, I'm quick to that's like not enough or something.
All right.
Well, you probably know what I'm saying. I mean, this is what I want to deal with, is that I really want to do voice mediumship in some form is what I feel like I want.
All right.
And when you said that I'd be channeling this essence and that it would be real obvious to me, you said.
Yes.
So that's still true, that it will be real obvious.
You can make it not obvious. You have total free choice. You can make it not obvious. Therefore, allow me to suggest, for now it might be hidden in your singing. When you blend the two, it might become more obvious. Also realize you have begun to explore the idea of the control that you have over your physical universe, and this also is part and parcel to leading you to being able to allow yourself to blend in that way. So follow me.
I do follow you, yet I feel this I feel like what I desire also is voice mediumship, and that somehow maybe I haven't chosen that or something. But I can choose whatever I want at any time, can I?
Go ahead.
I mean...
Do you wish to do it right now?
Do what?
What were we talking about?
Voice mediumship?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. Then relax.
Okay.
Imagine yourself as you are when you are singing. Do you feel the power moving through you? Your power. Your ability to express. Yes, no, maybe?
Yes.
Do not go to sleep on me.
Yes.
All right. Recognize that there is always within you the connection to any idea, level, consciousness, essence that exists as a part of your own whole beingness of all that is. You have identifications with certain types of vibration. Allow yourself to identify with those vibrations now in the same way that you identify the particular vibrational patterns of any song that you like. Can you feel that particular vibrational pattern? The essence?
Yeah. I feel like laughing.
Oh, go ahead. That is channeling. You are channeling right now in that way. You are channeling the vibrational pattern. Very good. Now, is there, along with this laughter, something that you know you wish to say? You can be totally conscious. You can even think about what it is that is coming through. But you know that what is coming through is something that comes from the channeling, even though you might be off to the side thinking about it and be totally conscious of your surroundings. Let the feeling flow in the same way it does when you sing. Is there any information that wishes to come along with the laughter?
I'm happy to be here.
All right. That is always good for a start. What else?
Now, some of this stuff seems real silly.
Yes. Very good.
It's like it was a beautiful day today, wasn't it?
Very good. What about this one? Oh, Pammy Poo, you're on the right track. Is that silly enough?
No, I like that. Well, I mean, that's silly and I like it too.
Yes, it is just silly enough for you. No, may I suggest... All right, pull yourself out of the channeling a little bit. May I suggest that what you have just channeled for yourself is the idea that you don't have to take this so seriously.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Now, how simple was that to find out?
That's real simple.
Yes. Thank you, Pamela.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, was just... I mean, I know it was simple, but I needed... It was like I desired a kind of a trigger, a kind of a something to reflect back to me how simple it was.
Thank you for allowing us to be of service in that way.
Okay, thank you.
Question.
Yes. Again, on the subject of time, you said that travel through space is the same as travel through time.
Yes.
That doesn't refer to the travel on the skin of space, right?
In a sense. It is just that the idea you call the skin of space is created by having many intervals in between one point and another.
Of course, yeah.
Even your own motion through a room is the recreating of yourself instantaneously over and over and over again.
Right, okay.
There are miniature, if you wish, hyper jumps in between those moments.
Right. Technically, that is, of course, true. When we view it from the standpoint of the Earth viewpoint of what time is, it's not really going through time. But I understand what you're saying. Okay, great, that clears it up.
Thank you.
Another question. People have been talking about vibrating, and I guess I started maybe 2 years ago, on occasions, lying in bed, and it felt like I was in an earthquake. It was about that frequency. It was quick.
Yes.
Yes, and this doesn't happen very often. And I thought, oh, this is weird because it's it's my imagination or whatever it was, and I kind of judged it at that time. But I think I came to the conclusion recently, correctly, and I wish you would speak about this. That I was actually tuning into the Earth crystal vibration.
Yes. 7.5 cycles per second. That's why it was so low.
Good. That's what I was going to say. I was counting, and it seemed just about 7.5 per
Yes.
second. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Question.
Bashar?
Yes.
There's a space civilization that lands at Takis in Idlewild. Is that correct?
Do you mean all the time?
Yeah, regular basis.
How regular? We do not have schedules, you know.
Well, fairly frequently, maybe once a week.
Why?
Because I want to go there and see it.
No. Why do they land?
Oh, I don't know. That's what I want to know. I want to ask you if there is, in fact, somebody who does that, and if it's the Pleiades or who it is.
Not with that frequency.
Not with that frequency.
No.
What do you mean? What frequency?
It wouldn't be the Pleiades.
Once a week.
Oh, the Pleiades aren't landing at Idlewild?
No. Also, any landings that may take place there do not happen with that frequency as well. Not once a week.
Oh, I see. So when would be a good time to go there and see a spaceship?
Can you get there by tomorrow morning?
Yeah, I could. What time in the morning?
6:30 a.m.
Really? Okay.
Do you believe me?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, because I think you know more about this stuff than I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How come?
Oh, God.
Realize that those individuals are not connected to our civilization. Why would we be so nosy as to know what they are up to?
I see. Well, maybe you keep track of different...
Oh, in a sense, yes.
Okay.
B. Wherever your instincts tell you to be, in the area you call Malibu. September 6th of your time at approximately 5:45 a.m. All right?
Okay. Thank you very much.
5:45 a.m.
Question.
While we're on that, was there some sort of situation over China?
Yes.
Would you elaborate on that?
There was what you termed to be mothership.
Yeah.
What else do you need to know?
Anything?
We're going to pick your brain on this.
I'd really like for you to tell us a little bit more. Yeah.
Only briefly, it was for the purpose of allowing the energy consciousness of that civilization, that country, as you would call it, to spur themselves a little bit more forward within the idea of the blending and balancing that they will enact out in the near future as their energy will act in some way, shape, or form as the beginning of a blending of different types of cultural ideas, whereas heretofore they have been remaining separate, and then can in some senses allow themselves to act as mediators between your civilization and the civilization upon your planet you call Soviet Union. It will be reflective of the idea of certain energy they are exploring within the integration of themselves to allow there to be a blending within their culture of different types of cultural ideas. You follow me?
Yes, but there are not any type of danger involved, any energies involving...
Did you hear of any?
Yes.
Well, as a matter of fact, yes.
We heard that they were going to push the button, the nuclear warfare button.
Nope.
Okay. What is the facts on that?
They were not going to push it.
Well, the fact is because...
Well, we're wondering why the mothership arrived
I have just described to you the reason for the arrival of the mothership.
Right, I understand that. What I just said was the reason that was given to us previous to that. So what you're saying contradicts a previous reason. I'm wondering why the previous reason was given.
Understand, at this time, it was for the, I will say, purpose of pushing your buttons.
Okay, that worked.
Do you still believe you will create nuclear annihilation?
Not at all.
Thank you.
No, we don't. But it just seems strange that was such, this massive mothership, in the whole bit.
Oh, big, massive mothership, big deal.
Well, it is a big deal if you're down here.
Why?
Hell, I want to see a ship.
We don't see him that often.
It's not like
a new toy to play with.
Believe me, we're going to be there on September 6th.
It's fun for us, Bashar. It's really fun for us.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Now understand the idea connections with the idea you call pushing the button were only in some senses. It was not literal. The idea of that idea has already moved itself out of your mass consciousness as of approximately 5 to 6 years ago. Allow me to say that there is still, yes, those ideas floating around, and there is consideration within that country of that idea. The purpose of the arrival of that mothership was also at that time to reaffirm that they did not have to think about that idea, that they were on their own right track in creating the idea of the balance and the blending. There was the, I'll say, exploration within the leaders of the country at that time of exploring the dichotomy of peace versus war. And that, in a sense, then makes it seem as if the mothership arrived just in time to prevent the intervention of the idea of pushing the button. But really, it was not being considered in all that much seriousness, but was being recognized as the beginning of a choice. That they have now allowed themselves the choice to know that they do not need to push the button because they are on the right track with the idea of blending the different cultural ideas within their own culture. You follow me?
Yes.
This is how it connects.
What did the mothership then do? Did it just make an appearance, or did it actually do something to,
There was communication. There was contact with several individuals mentally.
Great.
Question.
Yes, Bashar, I want to ask you a question about spirit teachers.
All right.
I heard today that each person has one spiritual teacher, whereas each person may have many spirit guides. Each person has one spirit teacher, and I heard today that most people have not met their spirit teacher. And if this is true, I was wondering if you could...
Do you mean physical or non-physical?
No, non-physical. Non-physical.
Understand, in a sense, you have not even really met your guides, nor really will you ever, in a sense. Understand that the purpose of spirit teaching, of spirit guides, is to allow you to teach yourself, and thus they will usually remain quite anonymous. You follow me?
Anonymous?
Anonymous, in a sense. They will lead you to yourself. What you may then deem to be communication with your spirit guide, you will find to only be communication with another portion of your own consciousness.
Right, that's what I was thinking, what really was happening. However, is it true then that there is each spirit guide is really another portion of your own inner being or your own greater self?
In a sense, although there are, in your vernacular, because of the idea you create of separation between the consciousnesses of one person to another, many spirit guides who you would recognize as other personalities.
I see. Is it true that each person has a spirit guide, a spirit teacher?
In a sense.
Could you possibly tell me who my spirit teacher is?
What would a name do for you?
Well, it would facilitate some communication with that being. It would more further define...
Can you not feel the vibration of that being?
I haven't really reached out for it.
All right, why not?
Well, I just discovered this information today, and I wanted to explore it a little bit with you.
Go ahead. Understand you may explore it with yourself.
Yes.
Recognize the vibration that idea represents to you. For now, simply use spirit teacher. Now, you may find that portions of the spirit teacher will be portions of your own consciousness.
Right.
But you can come into touch with levels of the consciousness of the spirit teacher that will seem to be other consciousness as well.
Right.
Allow yourself to simply explore the feelings for now.
Uh-huh.
Always, now recognize, they being of in your terms, non-materiality, always know when you begin to identify with their vibration, it will be just the same as if you shouted out their name.
Right.
All right?
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So is the spirit teacher, is the idea of a spirit teacher some way different from the idea of a spirit guide?
In a sense, you may recognize that there may be really, in a sense, a spirit teacher for a family of consciousness.
Okay.
There will be aspects of the spirit teacher given to each individual. Thus it will seem each individual has one spirit teacher. In many ways, actually, many individuals have the same spirit teacher, simply fragmented to be represented by one particular individual at a time.
Got it. Okay.
For sure.
Yes!
I want to share a lot of joy. I've been having a lot of fun. Great time.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to share it, just spread it out.
All right.
I've been having a real ball, all facets of life. Pretty much completely disconnected myself from all of the economics and the realities and the way people live, and been living a pure spirit of play, doing whatever I feel like doing at any time. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And one thing I'd like to address a little bit, just to look at, in a way I feel, well, not even in a way, I feel I have a lot of my own answers, but it's nice to share it and look at it.
All right.
There are a lot of creative, physical universe creative cycles that I feel are not progressing because the timing is not right for them. Like I have scripts that are sitting here and books that are sitting there. But there is a desire to share a lot of this.
Very good.
And
that is what will bring them into material reality.
yeah.
Recognize that keeping it to yourself, it will only manifest in you and not in your world. Recognize that if you know these ideas are real for you, then act as if they are real for everyone, in a sense. In other words, if it were real for you, who would you be talking to? What would you be saying? How would you be forming connections? What would you be going about doing if it were already real to you? Therefore, make it real by doing these things. Act as if it already is for you a foregone conclusion.
That's real nice. I appreciate that, Bashar.
Thank you.
Well, I do find resistance. I think that, we've talked about this before, that I feel, well, you have to write the scripts and you have to write the treatments, and I have resistance to doing those mechanical actions, to sitting down.
Then find someone who enjoys it and dictate it.
I don't feel it comes out quite as well as composing it and creating it myself.
Thank you. Then you have your answer. Now you really know what means more to you.
Oh,
do
I know
it yourself.
that. Yeah, I will do it.
Thank you.
There's still a resistance, though, that I want to.
Perhaps you do not think it is worthwhile.
Nope. I think it's very worthwhile. Well, there might be a little bit of that.
What?
Damn lazy.
Do you feel all right?
Damn lazy about doing the mechanics.
All right.
And I've had that feeling for some time.
Understand, you will not be lazy, but you will be excited if you feel that when you are writing your project, it is already going to get made.
Ah, very nice. Yeah, it's the doubt on the marketing
Yes.
and the creation of it.
Write it as if you are writing it for someone who is definitely going to make it.
Lovely.
You follow me?
Yeah, and get more excitement on that.
Yes, if you know it is going to be made, then what will stop you from writing? If someone walked up to you and said, "Here is this money, we are going to make it. Now, will you go home and give us another draft?" Do you think wild horses would be able to stop you?
No, they wouldn't.
Thank
They
you.
wouldn't. I mean, I'd enjoy them as they went by, but they wouldn't.
Thank you. Very good. Create the entire attitude of the atmosphere in which that idea is real.
That's lovely. Thank you for assisting me to rekindle that.
Thank you. Guys.
I have contact with the auspices group in LA, which
All right. You might say they are the physical side of spirit guides.
Right. I think I turned the lady off when I called, but
Perhaps because you are not dead yet.
thank you very much. I have somehow I've been playing with this for several years for some reason.
Playing with what?
I've identified with old people who get into complaining and thinking of that. Identify from the viewpoint of bringing them out of that and making it real light. And
in other words, you wish to fulfill one of the functions of Earth server.
Okay, you got it. Well, the fact is, what's happening is, like, I even want to do a commercial on it.
All right. Go right ahead.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Can you give me a little help in a direction, or?
Obviously, you do not believe that you can do it.
Well, the obvious thing is, I've already reached some opposition, plus the fact that I have not done anything like this before.
So what? One moment is not connected to the next. What has before got to do with now?
So you feel it's worthwhile?
If you are of the vibration to be of service in that way, go and be of service. You perhaps turned them off because they understood you were not yet turned on. Not yet turned on.
I think when I use the word, I've sort of been studying some metaphysics.
Recognize that is not the idea that stands in your way. You are simply unsure. Listen to how you are describing it.
Yeah.
To anyone who is already doing it, you sound like nothing but hesitation.
Yeah, it's flaky, I know.
They recognize that it takes a person who is willing to be right here and right now, to be of service to people that are going through the transformation you call death.
Okay.
Be within your own life, and you will be able to assist those going through death. Be willing to be alive. Otherwise, in that way, you will never convince them that life also awaits them.
Oh, okay, I like that.
Thank you.
I like that. Oh, one other question.
Yes.
Does shadows have any other purpose other than casting, say, the reflection of a solid object in this universe?
Shadows! Do you mean physical shadows?
Yeah, you can't touch. I get you to see them. Yeah.
All right. You may recognize that which you can see as a shadow, usually, except in certain conditions, will represent the only actual two-dimensional structure in your three-dimensional world. You follow me? One side of a shadow is completely two-dimensional. It has no thickness. Yet you recognize it as an object. Therefore, it will be just as accurately symbolically reflective as a doorway into that idea, in the same way that the physical universe, three-dimensionally, is a shadow of the fourth. To the fourth-dimensional viewpoint, three-dimensionality is flat, in a sense, and many times, many individuals in your society, when they form a connection in their fourth-dimensional selves, will begin to look around them and feel that the reality around them is a little bit like cardboard, a little flat, of no substance.
It's getting like that already.
Yes. That is the symbol connection of shadow.
So, will we, now that you've mentioned it, are we, in this transformation that we're making, will we be operating more in the fourth?
This is the idea. You are going, as we said, from third to fourth density.
But
you are expanding into another dimension of yourselves.
But isn't fourth dimension without bodies?
There is physical and non-physical fourth density. It is the last level in which there can be both. Fifth, sixth, and seventh are completely non-physical. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
You will have light bodies. Question.
Bashar?
Yes!
You mentioned a connection between physical fever and transformation. Is that what I'm experiencing in my life?
to a degree, understand that within the mass consciousness at this time, the idea of experiencing more rapid acceleration, which is brought on by the integration of your consciousness, will actually physically raise the temperature, because as we described before, of the friction between the higher and the lower vibration. You follow me?
Yes, I think so. Maybe not totally.
All right.
Yes.
You may simply understand it as simple mechanics. When you have something moving slower, pushing against something moving faster, it creates heat and friction.
Yes.
You follow me?
Yes, now I do. I had thought that was what I was going through. Recently I received some advice that said, actually this fever is consuming important substance in my body, and I had to supplement it. And
what was that substance?
Some oriental herbs, medicine herbs.
Have you already acquired it?
Yes.
How do you feel? Any different?
I had been, basically the fever continues.
All right.
So,
yes. Now understand, the idea is not to abate the fever, because that is the outside recognition of the acceleration. But many times, because it is also a physicalized effect, many times it can, in that way, have certain chemical effects in that way, can be depletions.
I see.
It's not that the idea of supplementation will abate the fever. It will simply make it so that you can go through it and transform, and then lose the need to experience the friction, because you will be identifying with the higher vibration.
Yes.
You may also replace your zinc.
Thank you. I received instructions a few years ago to learn to live on air and water. I didn't feel that was something to apply immediately.
Oh, very good.
But
allow me to say we would not have this conversation tonight if we had.
But I did feel that it was valid advice in terms of the transformation from the physical to the less and less physical and more into light.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you. Do you wish to take your break?
I'd like to ask one question first, Bashar, if I may. There's both a statement and a question, because I guess there's a little bit of uncertainty on it, and then sometimes there isn't any certainty. I find that I can take what is considered to be a heavy vibrational food and accelerate the atomic and vibrational structure of it so that it doesn't have the friction that it would for instance, I can take pasta apparently accelerated to the point where it has the same vibrational pattern as a fruit.
In a sense.
Yeah, and what's the in a sense?
In a sense, being that there at that level then will simply be no differentiation between the different idea you call pasta and fruit. It will all be one vibrational idea.
Right. So in actual fact, you can put those ideas in a vibrational pattern where you're not in any way negatively affected.
Yes, it will be for the purpose of experimenting with your ability to control reality in that way. But also understand, the more you become of that vibration, allow me to use a colloquial term, the more natural effect will simply be that you will lose the urge for that which does not already exist at that vibrational level, rather than go through the entire process of needing to transform it.
You've said that before. I don't feel that the foods that I eat are because of urge, they're because of enjoyment.
Same thing.
Urge and enjoyment, same thing. Okay, fair enough.
In that sense, usually with food, same thing. There can be the enjoyment from simply knowing that it is supplying what you need. There is that, yes.
Right.
But many times, people will confuse the enjoyment and the urge. Simply understand again, you'll not have to really worry nor think about it in either case. You will simply find that when you change your vibration, it will simply not occur to you that that would be something you would want. It will be as if you never had it to begin with. It will be almost like a foreign substance that you have never heard of.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It will be a quite natural transition. By all means, continue to experiment on all the lines that you are. It will serve its purposes.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You may take a short break.
All right.
All right, what would it say? Question.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question about the separateness of beings. Is it true that the beings that I have been channeling for the last 6 months that I call my spirit guides, is it true that they are not in fact separate individual beings? Are they just a part of me?
No. Recognize that when you say just a part of me.
Okay, forget just.
All right.
Are they separate individual entities or are they a part of me?
How many do you feel there have been? 3?
3 or 4 major ones, yes. 3 or 4 that I have been primarily concerned with and had a lot of
Allow me to say they are, for the most part, 2 of them. Mostly the idea you call portions of your consciousness. One of them is expressing and experiencing more the idea of having a connection, yes, but also being its own individual. Mm-hmm. In a future sense. You follow me?
Yeah. Are you talking about I forgot. Okay, go ahead.
In the sense that you have the ability as your future self to act as a guide for your present one. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Thus, it has its own life, in a sense, its own consciousness, in a sense. Yet it is still connected in much the same way. But it would be the most separate of the 3.
It would be the most separate of the 3?
One that represents the future self will be the most separate of the 3. The other 2 will be more connected to portions of your own consciousness that you are simply, at this time, willing to allow to blend with your overall consciousness.
I see. Is the one that you're talking about, is that Bilford?
Do you have names for the others?
Yes. Trumbull and Punjabi.
Do you have a name also for the idea you call spirit teacher?
No, I was wondering if you had one, or if you could locate one, or if there was supposed to be one.
The idea you experience that we will refer to as Punyale will be the future one.
Punyale?
Your name?
Oh, the one that I mentioned?
Yes.
Punjabi.
Yes. Punyale for us, alright?
Yes.
Will be the future idea.
Spirit teacher?
Of the guide. Of the 3. You follow me?
Oh, yes.
According to your own question. Spirit teacher. There are at this time too many different vibrations which could result in too many different names for the same teacher.
Okay. All right, thanks.
How do you feel about Punyale?
I have a tremendous amount of love for him. And for Trumbull.
What about Bilford?
Bilford, tremendous love.
All right. Is there a difference in the feeling between them for you?
Yes.
In terms of how you regard them, how you look at them, how you sense them, how you feel them. Personality-wise, you follow me?
Yeah, right. Yes, I would say, as far as my regard for them, there's no difference. But as far as how they feel, I think, I don't know, maybe it's just my imagination, but I thought there was a difference in their vibrations.
Oh, yes. There is nothing just about your imagination either. Now, what do you sense about the different vibrations of the 3? Start with Trumbull.
Trumbull has a very heavy billowing type of vibration, like a low voice.
All right. What about Bilford?
Bilford has a more finely tuned vibration, and he comes through with more of a flavor.
All right. And what about Punjabi?
Punjabi comes through with a, I don't know, there's kind of like a combination there of the two, and he has kind of a, it's hard to put in words.
Very good. Now you understand why that represents the future. Do you see the difference?
I don't understand why that represents.
You have started with the idea you call Trumbull being the lower vibration, Bilford being second, Punjabi being the highest. Because it is less, I'll say, describable. You follow me?
Yes.
Less definable.
Yes.
Understand in this way that when you know there is no need to define, as you somewhat do, you will simply be able to sense the idea of the connection you have with Punjabi in an active sense rather than a definitive sense.
Yes.
You follow me?
Yes.
From interaction with the idea of Punjabi will come some more inkling of the idea of the spirit teacher as well.
Oh, yes. Yes, what I thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Question?
Yes. Just a statement. I had, as you're pronouncing Punjabi, I had a very nice high feeling of elation and familiarity with that.
Oh,
Thank you.
Very good. Yes.
I guess that's me, huh?
Oh, I guess.
Just trying to assess who else spoke up at the same time. I have a series of questions. Now, obviously, you recognize at least some of the people who come, week after week. Do you recognize all of them after they've been here a couple times?
It will depend upon what changes they have made in their signature vibrations. We will usually recognize the basic signature vibration.
Mm-hmm.
There are always differences in the patterns that we sense.
Okay. But are you normally...
Many times we may have, in a sense, if you will simply follow that I must use colloquialisms of your own language, we will sometimes have more recognition for someone who has not been here than for some who have been here several times.
And changed.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
As there will be identification many times with those who have not physically been here, but we have had, in a sense, the opportunity to observe or interact with them on other different levels.
Okay. Okay. Next question is, how... There seems to be a difference in how thoroughly you tune in to various individuals.
Yes.
Why is that?
It will be because of many things. One will be the willingness and allowance of the individual to open themselves to communication. Mm-hmm. Another will be that if we sense there is within the communication the opportunity to interfere with their free will or take their power away from them, the communication will be automatically limited.
Mm-hmm.
You follow me?
Yes, I do. Okay, well, let's. I would like to look into a subject that you and I discussed last week.
All right.
That of Rita, and it seemed at the time that you did not tune into me at all. Yet I didn't have any awareness, at least at the conscious level, restricting my willingness to communicate and be open with you. And the reason I feel that you didn't tune into me is because what you were discussing was 180 degrees off of the way I felt about the situation.
All right.
Could you comment on that?
Simply again recognize that we will never interfere with a chosen path. And in that sense, when you are choosing a vibration that is not in sync with our own in that way, you will be a closed book to us. You follow me?
Yeah, I understand that.
This is our service to you. We limit ourselves in that way so as not to interfere with your choices, so as never to give you the impression that we are telling you what you should think and what you should do.
I absolutely follow that, and I wasn't looking for that.
No, we know.
Okay.
We are answering your question.
Okay. All right. I'm interested in sorting out I'm interested in knowing more about this. In fact, I'm still interested in knowing what I was looking for last week, rather. And so the next questions will hopefully will enlighten that. I use the term figuratively. Okay, hopefully figuratively. Anyway. Okay, well, I've looked at this, the fact that you were not really discussing with me the things that I already knew about about the relationship between Rita and I. Aside from the fact that you said that you were closing yourself off from it because it was not in tune with your vibration,
it was a reflection that you were closing off a vibration that reflected how we would look at the situation. You were creating your own vibrational reflection of the situation, much of which did not synchronize with our vibration of the idea being expressed.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, it was... You see, what I observed going on, at least consciously, is different from what I was feeling about the situation and from what I understand about the relationship between her and myself.
All right. Now, simply.
Okay.
What we were observing, if you will,
yes,
within the energy, was a contradiction from what you were saying and what you were hoping for. We observed from our point of view the contradiction of saying, I really do not care what she does, but only if she would do this. You follow me?
I understand that, yeah.
That is what prompted our discussion with you. Was the sensing of that particular, what seemed to us to be a contradiction within yourself.
Okay, well, of course, I have projected myself into physicality in order to experience contradictions and all that kind of stuff, you know. So that, additionally, as you may remember from, if you do recognize me currently, we talked about my viewing things from a Zen basis.
Yes.
We call that, okay.
But don't forget, you can change that from time to time as well.
Sure, but I haven't changed it to the extent that I don't do it anymore.
All right.
So,
are you doing it now?
Can, if I mean, I haven't looked at specifically doing it that way. I may basically just...
In other words, no. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. In any case, I'm interested less in what I'm doing, or less in what's going on with me in relationship to my relationship to Rita, than what's going on with her.
That is our point. That is what we were describing to you last week of your time.
Okay, let me qualify that. From the standpoint of being of best service to her.
Being of best service to anyone is being interested in what you are doing within the idea of the relationship, not being concerned with what they are choosing to do.
Okay, yeah, it's not a concern. And it's not a concern with what they are choosing to do. I'm viewing what she is doing, but it is not... I see what is throwing me off is I don't feel the strength of concern or strength of...
all right.
That he seems to...
Allow us to then perhaps identify another word. See if this one settles a little better.
All right.
Fixated.
How about strongly interested?
Fixated.
I don't buy it.
Why are you strongly interested?
Because I want to be. It's my choice.
Yes.
Okay.
Then it is a fixation. You are choosing to affix yourself to a particular viewpoint with regard to being in that way more interested in how that individual is perceiving the relationship than in how you are perceiving it for yourself.
Not more interested, equally interested. I'm interested in both how both of us are perceiving it.
All right.
Okay.
Then, if you are equally interested, is there any need to pursue anything? As if you are totally equally interested, you will understand that you will give yourself all the information you need from yourself, and that other individual will give you all the information she needs to for the idea that you need to explore as well. Therefore, whatever it is that does come from that other individual will be exactly the information that you need, if it is truly equal interest.
Okay, the information may not be on a conscious basis, because I don't get that information from that other individual on a conscious basis. Let me see what I'm coming from here is it was indicated to me via somebody who does spirit guide sessions, translating from my spirit guides, that she was interested in exploring suppression this lifetime, and my flowing her the love that I had for her, in our terminology, threatened her ability to experience suppression without popping out of it, without...
How did it threaten? How does love threaten?
Well, in this particular case, in a previous lifetime, from the viewpoint of time...
All right, never mind all of that.
Okay,
love does not threaten. Individuals may choose to be threatened. Love does not threaten.
Okay, well, I said, in our terminology...
All right, stop.
All right.
Do you understand that through the translation device you call the medium, we are still able to use your terminology and understand that we still said it differently than you?
You said it differently?
Understand that you said, my love threatened.
Yes.
We said love does not threaten.
I get that.
You understand that in what you term to be plain English coming through the mouth of the physical channel.
Yeah.
Therefore, in that way, when we say that there is a difference in saying it that way, understand that there is a difference. The idea that, well, I was just being colloquial does not do it. The way you said it is the way you meant it, subconsciously. Therefore, there is a difference, subconsciously, unconsciously, and consciously, from understanding the difference between saying, my love threatened, and love does not threaten. But that people choose to be threatened.
All right, I totally understand that.
All right.
And I realize that it was her choice.
All right.
Her choice. Okay.
It is her choice, yes.
Indeed, right, totally, and I totally understand that. So, in that way, when I do flow her love,
yes,
she rejects it,
yes,
for the purpose of not wanting to blow her suppression game for the next few years.
All right.
Okay. Now, I wanted you to comment on that, and...
There is nothing to comment on. If you are sending her unconditional love, she is still doing what she wants to do. You are doing what you want to do. No comment necessary. There is no expectation of any change within the sending of unconditional love. Therefore, get on about your life.
Okay, well, see, the question was this. Since I still have a great relationship with her kids,
yes,
and I'm therefore around her on occasion, I want to deal with her in the best possible way. What has felt right is currently for me to deal with her kind of in a cold fashion. And I was wondering if I am...
Do you feel that in that quote-unquote cold fashion, you are still not sending her unconditional love?
Oh, I know that I am.
All right, then no big deal. Within the idea that it is all right for you to express unconditional love and allow yourself to show that in your beingness, right, without necessarily in that way physically interacting, but simply knowing that it is there within your beingness and allowing yourself to relax within the idea that it is all right to exemplify that. However she chooses to react is her choice.
Okay.
You cannot coddle her.
Well, on that point then, it has kind of puzzled me why I felt it was of service to her to treat her somewhat coldly. I mean, this is what I'm confused about. It seems like it's right for me to do this at this time.
You can recognize that an individual may be requesting of you to be aloof. You may feel that there is validity in granting the service of acting that out for them.
Yeah.
Does not mean that you have to feel any different about the idea. of still sending them the unconditional love.
Oh, I do it simultaneously.
All right.
I'm cold to them and I'm loving her at the same time.
All right.
But the weird thing about it, see, I'm still experiencing dropping old habits and dropping old viewpoints.
All right.
Okay. So for me, it's like here I'm treating this person coldly, and it's like, gee, this is something that I was trying to get away from.
All right.
Quote, you know?
Then you may redefine the term coldly.
Okay.
Understand that if you are simply, in that way, following, I'll say, allowing yourself to be of service to her wishes to act aloof, then you can understand that since you are sending unconditional love, since you are being of service to act aloof because she requests it, you are not acting coldly.
I understand that. I was just not sure that I was getting the message from her, the request from her to act coldly, or whether it was something that I was doing for myself. It seemed like it was for her.
All right.
And this is what I was asking you last week. And
all right. Allow us to suggest
yes, please.
There is no need to, in your vernacular, act coldly. Be yourself. But stay within yourself, within that idea. Be warm. Be cordial. Be open. Be open for the opportunity of that individual in that way to then share whatever she may wish to share with you. If you would rather understand that you may simply be not cold, not aloof, but simply preferential.
Preferential meaning?
In the sense that you may be more acting within a professional attitude, but not coldly. In other words, all right, if you wish to make this idea of this relationship something that will give you, in your terms, space, and allow me to still send you the unconditional love, then I will come. I may still talk to you openly, lovingly, in that way. Simply, you, this is speaking to the other individual, may know that in no way, shape, or form how I speak to you has any bearing upon any assumption that I am making of what my communication with you must do for you. Therefore, you may even, if you wish, go so far as to actually express this. My being warm in speech and tone and demeanor towards you has nothing to do with expecting you to change. It is simply that I know that my reality is in sending you unconditional support for any choice you make. Therefore, why should I not? Therefore, you may even, if you wish, go so far as to actually express this. My being warm in speech and tone and demeanor towards you has nothing to do with expecting you to change. It is simply that I know that my reality is in sending you unconditional support for any choice you make. Therefore, why should I not simply act the idea of that unconditional support and be warm in my demeanor towards you? It does not carry an expectation with it. Therefore, there is no bind upon me to cease being the way I know I am. You can express it this way quite blatantly.
Yes, in certain respects I have a while back.
All right.
And then it changed.
Then let it go.
Yeah. Okay.
How does that feel?
Well, it feels fine. It is my preference to just be warm toward her, but
All right.
I'd rather not create an uncomfortable position.
You are not.
Condition for her. If I
You
do
are
that.
not. She is creating it for herself.
Right. Okay, I understand that.
There is a point beyond which you need not take responsibility for their creations, as long as you are clear and straight with them and with yourself about your intentions and your integrity and your feelings. Beyond that, it is their choice to feel rotten if they decide to.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, see, I can go either way. I can, at a moment's notice, I can change. And I'm wondering, is there
Which
one
way do you want to be?
I want to be of service to her.
Then be of service, and be of service to yourself as well, by not denying yourself the feelings of being of service, in the sense of simply knowing that you can be warm and cordial because that is what feels better to you.
Well, yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Again, do not coddle her.
Yeah. In other words,
On some levels, you then will be offering her the chance to feel that you are actually removing support.
I understand that.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
It just doesn't feel all that terrible bad to act totally to her if that helps her feel suppressed.
Since you have clarified the idea, it is up to you how you wish to act. But understand, if you are acting cold out of deference to something you have already explained, then you are not being yourself.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay. In other words, it really doesn't matter what I do.
Not really.
Yeah.
Except that it matters in the sense that if you allow yourself to be yourself and know that the communication is already understood, that being yourself in no way poses an expectation, then there is a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because then, in saying, well, now I must act cold, is not how you feel, like acting.
Yeah.
Then you are denying service to yourself in that way as well, and actually denying service to her.
And if I feel like acting cold, then I should act cold.
Oh, yes.
Got it. All right. Thanks very much.
By you.
Bashar?
Oh, all right, you, by you.
Okay. I noticed when last based on me, and it seems like with other people, but this tremendous excitement that I used to feel, the energy that I felt last spring when we were all here, is winding down to a feeling like we're more becoming in a not so excited, not so in a dream state. I mean, we're more like we're walking around half in a dream, half
Yes.
in reality.
Yes. Both are real.
I miss the excitement that I used to feel.
Do you recognize and realize how many times you have said this?
Yes, and I'm still missing it, and I'm wondering if other people are missing it too.
What difference does that make? Are you saying misery loves company?
No, not particularly. I'm just wondering if they are feeling the same thing, or is it just
There
my
may be
observation?
the feeling of allowing yourself to begin to be more in step with the accelerated energy, and thus not feeling there to be such a difference between the state you were in and the state you are in. It does not have to translate into missing anything. They may be feeling it, but they may not be missing it, because they may be recognizing that what rate they are traveling at now represents the rate of a new idea. And they are not making the comparison as you are. You follow me? You only miss when you make a comparison, when you make a judgment.
Right.
There is no loss. Where you are now is more of an integration of that momentum, to allow you to do the things that you said you wanted to do in fourth density.
Right.
What is there to miss?
Nothing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, Bashar. It's nice to see you again. I just wanted to share something, but I need to ask a couple of questions too.
All right.
I think a couple weeks ago I came to see you and I told you I've been in touch with certain beings, and they were light bluish
Yes.
and almost transparent, and that they had been wrapping me in this light,
Yes.
almost like they were preparing me for something. I finally figured out what they were doing.
Oh, detail.
Yes, I will. What I got was that lots of love, extreme amount of love was there.
Yes.
And it was unbelievable.
Oh,
And
Obviously, you could believe it.
I know,
Otherwise, you would not
but it's so much
experience
there,
it.
it's just hard to put it in words.
All right.
Feel it, you know.
Very good.
And what they were doing is because of this going from third to fourth and fifth densities here, it was like I was speeding so fast and I was having problems with energy. and it kind of like wrapped me up in this light, and it kind of helped me.
All right.
Physically.
All right.
And
understand you made the agreement in that way. You created it for yourself as well.
Right.
Therefore, it was not a problem.
No, there's no problem there.
Thank you.
But also, I have a feeling. At first, I thought they were you, and I was going to ask you if they were or not the beings.
And now?
Now I have a feeling they're very similar to you. I think they're from Syria. Or, yeah.
All right, why?
I don't know why.
All right.
I just have a feeling.
All right, very good.
And I was going to ask you if you knew who they were, though, anyway.
Not specifically the personalities, but yes, the serious energy, yes, we know.
Great. You know, but you didn't, yeah. Now, but I also know that it was also you too, because...
Only in the sense that our consciousness, as yours is linked to ours is linked to theirs. Theirs is linked to yours.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
Now, what has been going on with my body the last couple weeks is you know, like little atoms going off. It feels like the insides of my body are changing.
Yes.
The blood, the
yes.
metabolism, and so forth. And it was really a great feeling. It was just so different, and I felt really good about it.
Yes.
Wonderful, isn't it?
Yes.
And this week, it kind of subsided to somewhat to a tingle.
All right.
And I always wonder what else I can expect.
You can expect nothing. Otherwise, you will not allow it to happen. When you put expectation upon it, you do not experience what you are giving yourself right now as valid. That is a part of the unfoldment. What is happening right now is a part of what you expected some time ago.
Okay.
Allow this to be valid, and more can occur. All right?
Okay.
The tingling, in that way, is again your ability to synchronize with the energy you were given, and there is not now such a great comparison between the two levels, because you are now in a different level. Thus, having acclimated to some degree now allows you to do things. If you were in a constant state of feeling overwhelmed, you would not be able to do anything with that energy, with that acceleration. You follow me?
Yes.
Therefore, you have lost nothing. Nothing has subsided. You have only acclimated. You have climbed another rung.
Great. Now, I understand that there is going to be a lot more coming in the autumn months.
Yes.
Can you just tell me a little bit about that?
Only at this time that, within the mass consciousness, there is within this opportunity of the 9th, 10th, and 11th months to do as you are doing, to acclimate to the accelerated rate, so that you can provide energy to certain situations which you are creating to happen mid 1986 of your time, so as to involve yourself globally in making a decision to what vibrational reality you wish to subscribe. You follow me? There will be events, and primarily a few very large events that will affect the global consciousness in such a way that each individual, not in the colloquial sense of the term forced, but each individual will force themselves to take a stand on what type of reality for the entire world they really wish to identify with.
I see. I also am moving to Phoenix, Arizona. I'm just in the
what a coincidence.
Yeah. It's like it's almost like I was told in a sense, and I'm compelled in a sense to move there. And
All right.
I did drive up to Sedona.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. I understand why it's such a place. And I did see a ship distant.
All right.
It was great. It was like a shooting star when it was going in the opposite direction, not down towards the earth, but out of it.
All right.
You're right. But So I am moving, and it's like I'm expected to move. So I am.
You are already there, in a sense, yes.
Oh yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Bashar?
I
want to make sure.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to make sure you were done there, but I still
Thank
wanted
you.
to get in my, I was going to say 2 cents, so I'll say my $1 million.
All right.
Sorry.
Thank you.
We talked about my future self as maybe not being in physical form,
Yes.
and yet there's still no reason why I couldn't be in contact with my future self.
Of course not.
Okay. Sometimes I feel all alone. I guess it's because I haven't
Pamela.
allowed myself sometimes to open up.
Pamela.
Yes.
There is no reason why you cannot be your future self as well.
I guess I think it's supposed to have some kind of other name besides my name and all that. But then I also see, well, maybe with that I'm creating separation, which is more in
Very
line with my
good.
purpose, is to create
Very good.
Also, because I was thinking when this other young lady was sharing, and Chris? Chris. Hi, I'm Pam. And I use this a lot too, and she used it, and a lot of people do just the terminologies. I was told to do this, I was told to do that. But really, we're telling ourselves.
Yes.
Okay, because
You are creating the situation which brings to you the symbology that seems to tell you.
Right, because sometimes it seems like fun.
Yes.
Now, also, a few months, it's been a while now, but I did have the experience of voice mediumship very briefly, and it was very real for me. I mean, I have no doubt about that particular experience.
Oh, yes.
And so I know I can do that, and yet at the time I stopped it because a great amount of fear came up within me, and I feel like I'm still working with that fear, that kind of fear of not being in control.
All right.
It just seems funny to me, the thing that I wanted so much, and then when it happens, it's like...
Yes, that will usually be the paradox, yes.
This tremendous fear.
Do you know that your future self does not have that fear?
Yes.
Then when you are your future self, you as well will not have it. Then there can be the blending.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. There will be, in your terms, a few more of your minutes.
Bashar.
Yes.
I have noticed that, years ago there was a lot of talk about the gap between younger and older people, that sort of thing. But I've noticed that there are more relationships, marriages, that sort of thing, where age difference is a much wider range.
Yes.
Does that have anything to do with us moving in?
Oh, come now, of course. Do you not see it?
Well, yeah, I'm just sort of, okay.
Understand that what you have termed to be your generation gap, quote unquote, was not so much a gap as an overlap. You follow me?
Right.
There is the blending of the idea of youth and old age in that sense, representing polarities but also at the same time similarities within viewpoint, outlook on life. It is usually in your society only the middle which has all the confusion. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Thus there is a natural symbol taking place within the identification of young and old.
Okay.
Many times it will simply be expressed physically, as you have said, because that is how the individuals expressing the symbol wish to express it.
Well, do you recall last week when we talked about certain individuals with the plane crashes needed to reincarnate?
Yes.
I wondered if this sort of thing is sort of naturally handling itself. You know, with people getting together with age differences like they are, in terms of those people, say, who are older, having a younger counterpart, so to speak, it sort of helps blend them into what's happening before they leave.
Can be, yes. Very good.
Okay.
But it will be different for many different individuals. But that will be one idea, yes.
Great. Okay.
Thank you.
Bashar,
Yes.
I had an experience the other night, a few nights ago, in my dream state, whereas I went to a library and there was no roof or walls. It was like up on a mountain.
Yes.
And I sensed it was the Akashic record.
Yes. A symbol of that idea. The symbol that you brought back with you to represent it physically. Yes.
That's right. And I was shown as though I knew, and was being shown to somebody else, but there's three of us. And there was some sort of game like we would play here with cards, but it was with photos. And
yes.
I sat there and I looked at the photos, and then there were photos of myself since I was born.
Yes.
And there were photos that are not recorded here.
Understand that many individuals, in creating the symbol of seeing their life, quote-unquote, spread out before them from that point of view, have described many times by analogy the idea of spreading a deck of cards.
Yes. And then there was one photo that spoke to me. It was of myself when I was about 8 years old. And as though I was looking, in that moment is when I was having a telepathic communication.
Yes.
And it was taken. That photo was taken by myself, or...
In a sense, it is not really a photo.
Right.
Understand that that represents the age that you determined in that way to initiate contact with and activate for your higher consciousness in terms of the path that has led you to where you are. It will be the decision point on one level to initiate a certain type of path.
Yes. In that sense, then every picture that was laid out was a point. Like there was one when I was very infant and one when I was about...
Yes, but the one that spoke
yes.
represents a particular type of decision.
Uh-huh.
This occurs for many individuals in their youth. It will be seen to be what is called a signpost that they have set for themselves, and when they arrive at that point, they recognize it, and that is why it stands out as a little bit more life, in a sense. You follow me?
Yes. That's beautiful. Now, in regards to the other two individuals there, I just would like a little bit more enlightenment on my particular relationship.
Not at this time.
Thank
you. You may go back there, however. Look at the cards again, look at them again. Have a discussion with them there. You will receive the information from them directly. All right?
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bashar?
Yes?
I just went into the other room and sat on this chair that has an energizing crystal underneath it.
Yes?
Can you explain to me how that works?
Simply understand that what you told them to be, crystal formation, represents a solidification energy matrix. In this way, it is representative of, in a sense, a frozen vibrational pattern of energy, which is a focuser, a channeler, of the basic formative energy of creation in that way. Electromagnetic fields, as you may call them in that sense, in a colloquial term. You may recognize that just as a lens focuses light, crystals focus energy, create fields in which you can allow yourself to operate unlocked from different types of reality and allow yourself to reorient to other types of reality. You follow me?
Yes.
Different configurations as tools, though we will remind you that they are all symbolic, all right? But different configurations as tools will have different effects.
Symbolic. They're all symbolic, meaning that we...
All physicality is symbolic. You are doing the action on another level. But the crystalline configurations will at this time begin to represent the solidification, purification, rarefication, acceleration, and alignment of your own energy spectrum, your own vibrational pattern. Thus you will begin to identify more clearly with crystals as tools than with tools you have previously made in your society. You will begin to understand how you can focus your own energies through them and the energies of creation. They will become very multi-purpose. You can, with your own consciousness, tune crystals to different effects. allow me to say that as you allow your energy vibrations once again to recognize the patterns of force density, realize that in force density, life is lived, not thought about. We will once again extend our unconditional love in the sharing that you allow, and for allowing us to be of service in that way, and for allowing yourselves to be of service to all that is, we will thank you.
Before you go, Bashar,
all right.
May I ask you a few questions that will require brief answers about your life on your planet? I've had these for a few weeks, and can I ask you these now?
Go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Since you were bold enough to say so.
I thought you would be following that. When you want a garment for yourself, do you go to a garment maker, or how do you acquire one? Where do they come from for yourselves?
Many times individuals will feel the joy in making these garments. We will acquire one from them. They will always be providing exactly what is needed. There are sometimes individuals who will do this process, in a sense, en masse, in what you term to be automated fashion.
Good. That was my next question. If you did have mass manufacturing, and apparently you do in some...
Yes, in some capacity.
Yeah. Okay. When you want to transfer your body from one craft to another, do you generally walk, or do you beam them across with some kind of an energy beam, or how do you do that?
Do you mean when they are, in your terminology, at rest?
Yes, orbiting your planet, when you're not really hyperspace jumping.
To go from ship to ship?
Yeah, you want to go to the mothership to have lunch or something.
The craft, scout craft, will enter the mothership. We will disembark.
Got it. Okay. That's exclusively. You don't do any transportation.
There is some.
Okay. Do you have ground vehicles?
In a sense, though they do not contact the physical ground, they float as well.
Got it. Okay. What is the form of the food that you have created with your mass consciousness?
It will be seen to be, in a sense, as a vegetable. It will be likened to small pods, light whitish green in color. There will be some variation, sometimes yellow-white. You may liken the color to corn in a way, or to lima bean. It will vary between these two ideas, yellow-green.
And the form of the vegetable, the most edible part, is that kind of like our green peas?
It will be more round, like a single kernel of your corn, but larger.
And rounder, more than tooth-shaped, I presume.
Little bit more. Again, there will be some variation.
How long would one pod be, containing several kernels?
No, each little pod is its own kernel.
Oh, okay. I got it. All right.
They will approximate the idea you call the size of your monetary unit, quarter.
Okay. It's little nuggets.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Last and final question. Do you bring the air that you breathe in your spacecraft from your planet, or do you create it on the craft?
There is air in the craft when the door is sealed. It is, however, also generated, in a sense, within the craft, as there is what you term to be a supply contained therein.
Okay, that you would bring from the planet. You
yes.
Okay, compress it or something.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
We will then extend our thanks, and once again we will say good night.
Good night.